What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Today, I wanted to put a spotlight on a Shadow Sableye team in the Go Battle League. I feel like this Pokemon here, with Tinkaton being so common, has kind of dropped off a little bit in GBL, but aside from that one matchup, this is one of the most flexible Pokemon in the entire game. It loves that Wigglytuff is no longer in the meta, and this Pokemon is a lot of fun to use. Real quick, though, before we get into the battles, I want to ask if you're not subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. Helps out quite a bit, and I'd really appreciate it. But let's get into the battles and see what this team can do. Shadow Sableye into Pangoro. All right, you know what? Back in the day, I'd say this is a pretty bad lead, but I have Drain Punch here, right? And I feel like Night Slash doesn't do that much to us, so I can just stay in, actually. Go for a Drain Punch and see what they want to do. They actually caught on a Tinkaton here. And while that is a good play in the moment, what they have to keep in mind is I have a Ninetales, so all I got to do right now, switch out. Go for the classic Ninetales RPS. We do have to keep in mind, though, they are at 5 on Pangoro, which is a little bit scary. 8. All right, Bulldoze going to be thrown. Maybe the Gigaton Hammer does technically do a little bit more raw damage, but I would be surprised to see that. They're at 3 right now, so 2 away from the next move. 4, 5. We'll go for the CMP, and we're at almost 100 energy here. So if that Pangoro does end up coming back in, they're going to take a lot of damage from my Ninetales. They might shield this up just to try to get another shield down from me, but I don't honestly think that's the best play they could go for, because now by doing this, they're going to put themselves into a spot where I can overfarm even more against them. But maybe they're going to switch out to Pangoro now and get my second shield, which is, in fact, what we see. So my defense has been dropped. I honestly don't know for sure if I knock out here with a single Weather Ball, but I don't think I would, right? I think I need 2 Weather Balls to KO this, but I also know at this point that I have so much energy that I can reach that. We'll Weather Ball once, we'll Weather Ball again, and if we get a shield here, then I guess we just switch out, right? But we don't know exactly what's in the back line. There could be a lot of things at this point. Weather Ball gets a shield. I'm going to bring in Sableye of all things, because this forces 2 attacks out of them, and I feel like that's not the worst thing to do. I either get a farm down here, or if they're at back-to-back Night Slash right now, they can knock us out. We'll see how much energy they have. Night Slash is going to hurt. Doesn't quite knock us out here, though. And they are... Oh, man, I thought that next Shadow Claw would knock out. That's a little bit sad. I'm going to have to now let my Sable guy go. But that's fine. I get more of a farm on my... either on my Tinkaton or on my Ninetales. They got a boost here, which is very rude of them. They probably shouldn't have done that. You know what? I'm going to bring in Ninetales, just because I feel like energy lead on Ninetales is always a very scary thing to try to subject an opponent to. And looks like here, Empoleon here in the back line is not the worst thing to see, because they are forced into throwing a Hydro Cannon against us to knock us out. They can never farm us down. And because of the energy that I have here, they're forced to throw energy pretty soon. And then my Tinkaton should be fine to just get to a Bulldoze against this, a Bulldoze against the Tinkaton, and then we win. With that said, there could be a catch opportunity for them at some point. We'll see if that's going to come into play. All right, they do go for the Hydro Cannon here. This will hurt us quite a bit, but it doesn't quite knock us out. It's a 2-shot if they get to a second one, so keep that in mind. Oh, interesting. They bring in the Tinkaton. I'm going to go for the Gigaton Hammer here. I know a Bulldoze actually isn't enough from this range. And with the Overfarm that we got, I should now be able to reach a Bulldoze after this Gigaton Hammer against that Empoleon. So Gigaton gets the knockout there. Empoleon comes back in. And as long as they don't get a Hydro Cannon, which they are not able to, Bulldoze should just get the knockout. And we should get the win. It was a really nice catch they made in that lead matchup there. But luckily, while Tinkaton is not great for Sableye, it's pretty good for Ninetales. So not too bad. Okay, Mantine in the lead. Not a bad matchup. The best thing about this is my backline, especially my Ninetales, does not want to see this Pokemon. Only problem is they can't put in a decent amount of neutral play here, just with wing attacks and twisters. But because I have the higher attack stat, I can just go for foul plays against them and win CMP. I'm going to shield in case this is a Water Pulse, but yeah, just a twister comes through. Either way, I do want this Mantine low or gone. I want to make sure this thing's not a big threat for my backline. Foul play number 1 going to be thrown. Do we get a shield here? We do not. So now we go for the CMP attempt, but they might be going for an overfarm to just go for a Water Pulse, which would actually knock us out from this range. Or maybe they just go for double twister to try to get more consistent damage into us. They do shield that. I could have gone for a very risky play there of a Drain Punch, but I did not. They're at back-to-back twister right now. I'm going to shield this. It could be a bad play, but if it's a Water Pulse especially, then I just get the full farm down. Okay, Electrode comes in. And I think here, we're never going to get one-shot by a Wild Charge, right? So we force them to debuff themselves, and we can just bring back in our Sableye at some point. Weather Ball should get basically a knockout here if it goes no shielded, so yeah, we get the shield. 9, 10. Yeah, we should survive one attack here, at least just barely. Either forcing out an energy ball or a second wild charge. And then our Sableye is in a really good spot where I can just overfarm a lot here, because now they're completely energy dry. But obviously they can't go for the energy ball now that they have gone and lowered my HP as low as it is. Ouch. 1, 2. I'm going to Drain Punch before they switch out or anything, because this way it's going to be a -2 Drain Punch that lands. It might not be quite enough to knock out, but it should put them into farm down range before they get their next move, or just straight up knocks out like that, which is even better. And in the backline is a Clodsire. Not conventionally the best Pokemon to see here with the Sableye, but honestly, that catch kind of helps us out quite a bit. That's a lie. I wish I didn't let them catch here. But it's also not bad, because at this point, I'm going to be able to just still go for the next foul play, and I think this puts them into Gigaton Hammer range, or at the very least double Bulldoze range, and they need to have a Stone Edge here and 2 Earthquakes for my Tinkaton to win this game. Yeah, them letting me get the Shadow Claw damage in is a little bit of a misplay, I believe. We'll go for the No Shield. Not that we have much of a choice in this spot. I wonder if double Bulldoze is the play, actually, just because I know I survive one attack here, and I might as well. But I mean, I think Gigaton should just knock out, right? I'll go for the Gigaton for science, because I think that's enough. And there's a chance here that maybe I don't get that second Bulldoze off if I were to go for that. Gigaton is a very strong move, so if they do end up getting knocked out here, I wouldn't be too surprised. But Clodsire is bulky. There's a chance they could live this, barely. But no, they don't. Clodsire goes down, and we get the win. Alright, Shadow Sableye into Shadow Hydreigon. Okay, I think I remember the team here. I think it's Shadow Camerupt Aegislash in the backline, which you might be thinking I'm making this up. I swear to you, I am not. That, I think, is the team, which is kind of crazy. But you know what? Sometimes that's the team you fight in the Go Battle League. I'll go for the foul play. I need to try, or the Drain Punch rather, I need to try to ramp up my attack stat a little bit here. Honestly, did I say attack to my defense? I'm just scared, honestly, right now, so I don't know what I'm saying. Okay, that should just be a Brutal Swing. And, like, in theory, I do live that. But I'm going to be so low on HP now that I don't know how I'm going to knock out the Camerupt, honestly. Like, that Camerupt's kind of a huge problem now for my team. Drain Punch gets the knockout, at least. Yeah, well, there it is. You guys didn't believe me, but there it is, I'm telling you. 2, 3. And the problem is they can Rock Tomb us, right? Make it so I do less damage. But, like, maybe this is still fine, because by them going for the Rock Tomb, they threw an alignment to get this off first. Maybe I can still knock them out here with a Shadow Energy Ball. That's probably very, very copium, but maybe I can. We'll see. Big Energy Ball. Do we get a knockout here? We do not. That's actually so tragic. Ah, man, I'm just gonna lose this game. I needed to actually, like, a catch-off here. I kind of, like, fumbled everything about this. Yeah, Earth Power is just gonna one-shot us, and Aegislash is gonna sweep us in the back line, because it's just too bulky. I don't know what to do there. I knew the team instantly when I saw the guy, but it's like, what do? I don't have a Camerupt answer. Interesting, Electrode in the lead. I don't know how this plays out. I would imagine that Electrode does pretty well here, if I'm being honest. But it's fine. I'm going to shield this up. I went for the Drain Punch because I want to be able to boost my defense stat a little bit, but there is a chance they're just going for an Energy Ball, which makes a lot of sense too, because that doesn't debuff them. Drain Punch here should be able to either get his shield, or if they're crazy, they could let it go. They are crazy, and they do let it go. Good stuff. 3, 4, 5... Okay, it is generally a bad idea to double shield this early on in a game, but because I know I don't win CMP, and because I know this is going to be a wild charge, I will shield this up. And I can bring in my Tinkaton into the Florges, which is actually one of the few Pokemon in the game that down this many shields is not abysmal in this matchup. So we have a lot of energy still on Sableye. We can get a lot of energy here on Tinkaton. And we'll see how they want to play this out. 5, so they have another Chilling Water. Now, I don't quite get 3-shot here, which is what makes this matchup so bad for the Florges. And even at -2, I should still knock him out here with a Gigaton Hammer. Alright. We'll see what they want to do. Honestly, if they do 2-shield through us, they can do still a decent amount of work with this Tinkaton, or with this Florges rather, but I don't expect them to. Well, they might be. Okay, they throw yet again here. I mean, I do survive this pretty well, so I'm fine with that. They probably do switch out now, though. Into the Electrode, makes sense. So I get to clear my debuffs. I get to farm down with my Ninetales. I have a lot of energy now across the board. Energy on Sableye, energy on Tinkaton. And the final Pokemon is a Mantine here, which I should get to 2 energy balls against. So I'm not in an unplayable spot right now. But it is a little bit awkward, just because they do still have like enough HP here to not be in range where I 2-shot with Energy Ball. Although that might have been a CMP. And if that was, that's a little bit of a mistake. They should have overfarmed here, because I'd win that CMP anyway. And now they have no extra energy in this matchup. So if I can, I'd love to be able to switch out into my Sableye and try to go for a farm down here. We'll see if we can. Water Pulse does get the KO, so I don't really get to swap yet, but in comes this guy. They're at 1 right now. They let that go. 2, 3, 4, and they should be 1 away from the next move here. And even if they're not, just forcing them to go and throw energy into my Tinkaton is all we need to win this game. We swap out, we go for the Gigaton, and now we should be able to farm down the rest of that Mantine. But if we can't, then it's a loss. Big Gigaton, we get the knockout. Mantine comes back in. I think 4 Shadow Claws should do it. 1, 2, 3. Uh-oh. Wow. Never mind. 1 HP survive. That's unfortunate. I didn't think that was going to be possible. I'm going to be real. Twister does get the knockout. Dang. So close, but so far. All right, Sableye into Charge-a-Bug. Pretty neutral lead matchup here, although I do have a Ninetales in the backline that likely is not going to be in as good of a spot later on. We'll see what they want to do, though, because these Shadow Claws and the Foul Plays will shred their HP quite a bit. They're at 4 right now, which, as we all know, means they're 1 away from back-to-back moves. And if they let this go, they should be in farm down range over time. They do go for the no-shield. And I'm going to shield this up. I feel like shielding Sableye is never that bad of a play. We're going to CMP on the next move here, potentially. So we'll see what they do. Big Foul Play. Surely. I mean, I think Drain Punch still knocks out. It should be enough, right? I mean, I know it's resisted and all, but it's still a pretty good attack when it comes to at least doing 2% of my opponent's HP. We do get his shield. Am I going to do the play again? I think I am. I'm going to double shield my Sableye and just go for the farm down here and have a defense-boosted Sableye with an energy lead against the backline. Okay. Not exactly the best Pokemon to see come in here. We'll see what they do, though. I mean, if they're on Hydro Pump here, then I don't want my Ninetales against this, but I also wouldn't really want my Tinkaton against this, so this is actually looking a little bit scary. I'm going to bring in my Tinkaton now and hope for the best. They do throw a move. That's actually kind of huge. I don't want them to have this energy for my Ninetales later on, because now Ninetales might be able to do something. Oh, wait, what? Never mind, they're not even on Pump. Wait. Oh. Okay. Rhino, NAIC champion. What's he running these days? Shadow Sableye into Shadow Pidgeot. All right, not my favorite matchup to see, but I can dance around this. I'm going to bring in my Ninetales here. We'll see if there's a hard answer to us in the back, or if they have to stay in. Okay, Corsola comes in. So I think I can flip this. Corsola is a very bulky Pokemon, but with how spammy Ninetales is, I should be able to outpace here to a couple of attacks, and make it so after a couple of Weather Balls, they're just in a spot where they get knocked out by just raw charge attack spam. They're at 6 at the moment. And we'll see what they want to do. Weather Ball gets a shield, actually. Wow. 7. I'm going to be honest. I don't really want to go down 2 shields here. And this has to be a Power Gem probably to knock us out. Oh, no. Never mind. I guess that's enough. But, I mean, I can get a huge farm down here with my Sableye now, right? And then the energy against that Pidgeot should be pretty good for us as well. So by shielding this up, going for that farm down, we'll see what they do. Nightshade. They're at 1, 2, 3. Man, that is a huge farm down, not gonna lie. I need 2 attacks here anyway, so I'm actually gonna go for a bait first. Maybe it's a bad play, because maybe a Drain Punch plus a Foul Play is not quite enough to knock out, but I feel like doing it. Because I need to survive the Fasting Pressure a little bit better here to get another Foul Play off. There's a lot of things that could be in the backline, though. Could be a Mud Slapper, could be like a Diggersby. Get a shield there. They're at 3, 4... Whoa. Were they waiting to see if I was catching or something? They might have been, or maybe they lagged. It's really hard to tell on this old system sometimes. We'll take the Foul Play, though. Oh, that is such a tempting shield now. I'm gonna let it go, though. I feel like Tinkaton up his shield is better than shielding this. Okay. Regular Marowak in the backline. Yeah, this is gonna be kind of a tricky game. I need 2 attacks here. So I'm gonna go for the Bulldoze first, and hope that I survive long enough to get to a Gigaton Hammer. Get the defense drop, nice. 5, and I'm gonna shield this to force him to throw a second attack into us. Luckily, at this point, the Pidgeot is in 1 Fairy Wind range, so as long as we can get to a spot this game where potentially I can just land a Fairy Wind against him, I should be fine. I don't think they can switch out just yet, so I should survive a Bone Club here, get a Gigaton Hammer, and then I should just win with a Fairy Wind against a Pidgeot. I think we might be fine. Non-Shadow Marowak, just having that less offensive pressure against us. Gonna come in clutch here. Let's go. All right, Sableye into Mantine. All right, pretty decent lead matchup here. If I had Power Gem, I'd be in a much better spot. But if I didn't have Power Gem, like I don't, then we'll see what's gonna happen. Because we don't quite get the full farm down here, it looks like, if I do end up going for the foul plays. Honestly, this time, maybe I'm going to try to let this go, because I don't want to go down shields every single game. They do actually Water Pulse this time, which is unfortunate. I could have gone for the shield there and then just guaranteed to outpace them every single time and never take a charge attack, but last time I got baited. I've been baited a lot today with my Sableye, so I didn't exactly want to get baited again. All right. We'll go for this foul play here. We'll see if they want to go for a shield or not. I would be surprised to see one, but if they do shield, I'll just switch out. I don't want to give a farm down over. They let it go. Okay. Do I get a move? I don't. That is a little bit scary. But I can bring in my Ninetales here at least. 5. All right, they're instantly throwing an attack. Likely they're going to swap out after this, but I will shield this up because I don't want to take a wild charge. Okay, and the backline is a Shadow Primate. 4. Oh, man. I don't know about this. I don't like this at all, but we'll see what we can do. Maybe I can farm things down this game, but the amount of fast move pressure that they have right now is a little bit scary. They're at 3. A debuff here would be kind of huge, not gonna lie. No debuff. 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know if we can win this one. We'll try to, though. 8. So they're at 4. If they're on close combat, I lose this game. If they're not, then there is still a chance for us. Dude, where are my debuffs? They can't farm us down, at least. But this game is still going to be very scary. Because they are a plus 22 Primate right now. I should survive this still, but it's going to hurt. Because this should only be a Rage Fist, I believe. They just barely got there. Ow. Okay, but them swapping, I think, is a bit of a misplay. Because I think they wanted to get that extra Karate Chop against us, right? The extra boosted Karate Chop? Maybe I'm wrong, though. Maybe this doesn't knock out. It does knock out. I think we're fine, actually, then. Okay. Well, that was a very precarious spot. I didn't get bailed out by debuffs, but I guess we didn't need to. All right, this is where I want to see the Altaria. I don't want to see it on my Ninetales, so we'll see if we can take care of it here in the lead. With that said, there are potentially teams out there that are just incredibly rude when it comes to trying to shut down Ninetales, right? So it might not be the only counter. It could be like a Jelly in the backline. Could be a lot of things. 4. All right. What do they do here? I'm going to go for the foul play, obviously. This is going to put them down low, but it's not going to knock them out. Oh, what we do get is shield there. Interesting. So they're at their next Sky attack right about now. I could just go for the 2-shield matchup win if I really wanted to here. Try to catch a Sky attack. Doesn't quite work out. Gastro in the back line. Not exactly the Pokemon I thought it was going to be. They instantly full send as well. That's annoying. Yeah, you probably lose this game. I should have thrown a little bit earlier there, but I should still get to 2 Gigaton Hammers, and that should 2-shot. But it's probably just Altaria double Mud Slap at this point. At least we're doing a realistic amount of damage here, though. It's not like we're doing nothing with our Tinkaton at the moment. So we'll see what's going to happen. Gigaton gets a knockout, actually. Nice. 6. Okay. I mean, this is bad. Don't get me wrong. But at least I'm getting something done with my Sableye here. And I've saved my Tinkaton a little bit. They let that go. Interesting. They're going for a full farm down. They must know the team. Like, I don't know why you do this if you didn't know the team. That's crazy. I should have also Drain Punched, I guess. Like, you have to know the team if you're playing it out this way, right? Like, you have to just be banking on the fact that there's a Ninetales in the back line. They are going to be right. And they're going to get the win because of that. But that's unfortunate. I don't know what else I could have done here. Ow. Holy crap. That is so much more than I thought it was going to. I guess it is a Shadow Tentacruel. Electrode lead. Seen a lot of these today. A lot of Electrodes in the Go Battle League. I'm not that scared of this Pokemon with this team, but it is a little bit annoying depending on how they play it out. Last time I went for a CMP, I lost CMP, and I went for a Drain Punch, and I shielded an Energy Bulb. So likely I'm going to go for a Foul Play and no shield a Wild Charge this time. Actually, no, we're not. We're going to go for... Well, we got debuffed by the Energy Ball, which isn't great. But we do, luckily, call the move properly, so now we get the Foul Play off. And, I mean, I know there could be something in the backline pretty bad for us. That is not it, though. That is not bad at all. What the heck? That's their answer to a Ninetales? So they're at 5 right now. They have a Hydro Cannon, but even on normal circumstances, English hard, under normal circumstances, this is not that bad for me. Especially, like, up an Emperor or 2. That's really good. So, we'll see how they play this out, if they want to go down their final shield here or not. We'll go for another Weather Ball, and this should get a knockout if they let it go. And if they shield it up, that's also fine. It means that maybe even I could attempt to farm down, but probably not. Maybe I should have gone for an Energy Ball first if I wanted to make that play. They do end up throwing almost immediately after. I want to save some energy here on Ninetales. Like, I want to be able to outpace that Electrode if they do bring it in. But I also don't really want to let them swap out of this matchup, because Tinkaton would have an unrealistically bad time trying to finish this off if I didn't. So now we should outpace the Electrode if they bring it back in. And if they don't, then we'll see the final Pokemon and ship him down. Interesting. Not the best Pokemon to see here. I've seen worse, though. That was a CMP on 6. What do we do? What do they do? My Tinkaton's not in a great spot this game. I will say that much. But it's not in an unplayable spot. They're at 2. And I do win CMP, so that's pretty helpful. 3, 4, 5. So they're over-farming a little bit here. They're at 1. Well, 1 pass the move, that is. 2. Nice. We got the catch-off, which I think should just win us the game. They could go for an undercharge here, which would be a pretty smart play, but I don't know if they can undercharge enough for it to matter. Oh, they undercharge quite a bit, actually. 5. Interesting. I think we still win this one, because now we just Fairy Wind down with our Tinkaton and close it out with our own Ninetales. They should be able to get a Weather Ball, plus potentially a Wild Charge, but while that will knock out my... What? Well, don't do that, trainer. Now we just win because we don't get knocked out by a move here, right? Actually, you know what? There could maybe be one lose condition still. And that's that a Gigaton Hammer is not enough. And, like, they put me into perfect Wild Charge farm down range. That would be like the one way to lose, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think that we're still fine. Dude, I'm a steel type. Stop doing that. I'll take that, I guess. Sableye into Mantine. All right, well, I've played this out a couple of different ways so far, and honestly, I don't know which way is best. No matter what, though, getting rid of the Sableye before, or the Mantine rather, before my Mantine has to see it's never bad. All right, they're at 7. I'm going to shield. It could be bad. But you know what? Every time I play this out, I call it wrong, right? Like this time. So they're at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But I mean, at this point, foul plays plus Shadow Claws add up so very much. And getting rid of this early should be helpful. I don't think that's Drain Punch range. I really wish it were. But I'm not going to bank on that. So I'm going to go for the foul play just to guarantee something out of this. Oh, nice. They might have a Tinkaton in the back line. That's not the most uncommon pairing. Oh, it's an Electrode, actually, that gets brought in. A lot of Electrodes today. They're at 5, so they have an Energy Ball or a Wild Charge ready to go. This is a little bit nerve-wracking, depending on what they do. But we do get a shield there. 7. They throw pretty early. Do I not just want to get shields down? I feel like that's not the worst play. They're 2 or 3 away from the next move, so I can do 2 more in foul play. They're at the Wild Charge at the moment. They could let this go, and they do survive. But then it's going to be a 2-on-1 in the back line. Okay. I could try to catch a move here, but there is always a chance they just Wild Charge at this point. Them surviving on 1 HP is not exactly what I wanted to see. Yeah, they do Wild Charge, so it's a good thing I didn't do anything too crazy. Oh. I don't like to see that. 7. I don't like this at all. I might lose this game. We'll see. It's not like 100% game over, but it's like not great. 9. Okay. It's like these weather balls add up, but 10? I mean, does this ever put them into Bulldoze range? That's the big question. They're at 2 right now, and I do survive a single Earthquake. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to go for an instant Bulldoze here. I think I kind of have to. But I also have to be worried about a catch potentially coming through. Do they no-shield this? They do. So now I just have to go for a farm down and hope for the best. I don't know if I get it, but I did get the defense drop, which isn't bad. But now, honestly, they might just switch out here just to clear it. They don't. I think that's a misplay. They do it then. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we try to go for the shield KO because they're at a Stone Edge right now. There is a sliver of a chance that this gets the knockout. And if it does, I'm so happy. They're at 2 HP. No! The Clodsire in the backline. Just a little bit too tricky to take down. Clodsire, so bulky. And my backline is pretty weak to ground, so unfortunately it did find the optimal spot to be in. Pangoro. Okay, you know, I saw one of these earlier today, and they went for an instant catch on my Drain Punch. I wonder if they're going to do that again. Maybe I'll overfarm this time just in case, because that's probably a pretty obvious catch, right? Yeah. So we're able to call it, and now saving that energy as well as getting my Ninetales into the Tinkaton should put us in a pretty good spot. If we don't get debuffed by the first Bulldoze too, this matchup becomes really bad for them, where they can't even come close to two-shotting us here. But they do get the debuff, okay. 4, 5, alright, they're at their next move now. But the big question, I think, is going to be, do I just try to go for the farm down here? I think I do still survive this barely. I don't want to give a huge farm down over to Pangoro, at least. Yeah, that hurts, though. And if they want to go down shields to win switch, then my Tinkaton in the backline should be in a really good spot, because Tinkaton or Sableye both can deal with that Pangoro. They do let that go. So they should be at 6 right now. They instantly throw. I do survive a Night Slash here. With that said, this is going to do the most damage a Night Slash can do to us, so I will shield the first. 7, so they're at 3. Super effective Drain Punch doesn't get a knockout here, don't get me wrong, but it will make it so they're pretty low on HP, and potentially my Tinkaton in the back line should be in a pretty good spot. All right, they throw the move here. It looks like, unfortunately, I don't Shadow Claw down in time before they get their next move off, but I can get a second Drain Punch through. Oh, wow. Well, that's really good for us. They bring in the Corsola. That means now I know exactly what I need to do, right? I just Shadow Claw them into range where a Gigaton Hammer knocks out. I get both shields here. And then Tinkaton should just close it out. For, I guess the one issue is it looks like I might not be able to quite Shadow Claw them into just single Gigaton range. But we'll see. 6, 7, 8, 9. And they throw an alignment here, giving me a full sneak. I think Gigaton does about half of a Corsola's HP, just a little bit less than half. So I should be in a pretty good spot here, where I just Gigaton this, I farm down, or if I need to, like I can go for a Bulldoze at some point. And that Pangoro, I'm not even sure if it gets to a Night Slash against us. Oh, that does so much. We're going to shield this up, obviously. We don't want to be in a spot where we get Karate Chop down. And no matter what, we should be able to get to a Bulldoze before a close combat. Or just, Fairy Wind down. Yeah, Shadow Claws wouldn't have been enough, but definitely Fairy Winds will be. So we get the win. All right, Annihilate Bleed. Now, this is always a little bit unnerving, because it's like, what if there's a Tinkaton in the backline? That could be annoying, right? And then did I say Tinkaton? I meant Carbink. Anyway, and like I sacrificed my Tinkaton in the wrong spot. But I also just kind of have a good matchup here with my Sableye, so I might as well just stay in, because Sableye up that one Shadow Claw should be able to 2-shield through this. I hope. All right, they're at 6 right now. We'll go for the foul play. Guarantee either a shield or a knockout at this point. And I'm not that scared of Annihilate. I'm more so scared of what they're trying to bait out. All right, we'll go for the shield here. I know a Twister wouldn't quite knock us out, but a Water Pulse would. And shielding that's going to now guarantee that we should be able to do quite a bit of work this game. They bring in a Fearow, actually, which is a little bit scary, but now they're going to be forced into throwing a move or shielding this. Yeah, they have to throw a move into my Ninetales now. And I think just saving my Sableye should put us in a really good spot. 7. Weather Ball's not going to knock them out, at least not like a one-shot by any means. But it will put them down very low. Joel Run hurts as well. I wish I could have seen how much damage that did, but the HP bar didn't really show us completely what happened. Weather Ball puts them down pretty low. 8, 9, 10. All right. Bring in Tinkaton here. Because, like, up 1 Fairy Wind, I can now just outpace the Annihilate, right? To a Gigaton Hammer if they bring it back in here. They do have, like, a catch opportunity win con, though. Oh, they bring in the Annihilate right here. That's an odd play, I think. Although, maybe it's not. If this doesn't knock out, this is actually a smart play. But it does KO. So now I think I just farm everything down. I mean, it's a Shadow Annihilate, right? It's not well known for its bulk. They're going to be forced to now throw a charge attack into my Tinkaton with the Fearow. Or if they bring this in, I just swap out and I farm down. And now, I mean, they're forced to throw a charge attack here, right? But now I can also just go for a move myself, so we should get the win. Interesting team. Annihilate double flyer. No Carbinks, no Tinkatons, no Licky Lickies even. I guess I appreciate the innovative team building. A lot of Manteens today. I have not been well known for calling the baits and shielding the nukes too well from this Pokemon today, but I mean, it hasn't been too bad either. Where normally, even if we do call things wrong, we're able to put in quite a bit of work. I'll go for the foul play right when they could have gone for a Water Pulse, but it looks like they went for the Overfarm instead. They're at 8, 9, 10. All right. I'm going to shield this up. We'll see if they want a full send or not. But Sableye's putting in a decent amount of work here, so I might as well. They do bait us. 12. Okay, and we CMP on what could have been potentially a Water Pulse. Big foul play. Our opponent goes for the shield, rather. Yeah, okay. I'm going to let this go. And I'm going to do a bit of a crazy play, probably. We'll see what they throw. They do Twister. Okay, I'm not going to do the crazy play then. I'm going to do a crazy play, but not the crazy play. I'm going to catch this move on my Tinkaton. If they went for a Water Pulse, I was actually just going to bring in my Ninetales, but with them going for the Twister there, I can just bank some energy, and I can make him waste a lot of energy here. And believe it or not, I don't get one shot by Earthquake, right? So baiting this out, it's actually kind of huge. Because now I can get to 2 Gigaton Hammers. I still have my Sableye around, and my Ninetales as well is not in a terrible spot. They're going to go for a move here in just a second, but I do survive it from full HP. Well, okay, I'm not at full HP. I took a full-on Twister, but we saw how little that did, so I'm not that concerned. I do kind of wonder if the play here... Oh, no, I was going to say maybe try to get to 2 Bulldozers, but I don't think I survived long enough for that. No way I would, so instead, I guess, yeah, we just go for the Gigaton Hammer. And we gotta hope that our Ninetales in the back line is going to be pretty good for us. They do get to a move here. That's a little unfortunate. But they've already had 2 pretty good answers to Ninetales. I'm actually going to let this go. I've seen this team with Electrode as a third. And there it is. So we're going to be able to just RPS in the back line. Although the first part of the game there is actually a little bit scary. So while we do have a good alignment here, we had to set ourselves up to be in this spot. So GG's. Yeah, oh, 5-0. Okay. Let's go. I guess that's what you get when you get a whole bunch of Annihilate leads. And also a very bad Lunala. That is about as low of a CP as I think you can get. And we're not even able to catch this guy. 5-0 set in the Go Battle League. You don't see that too often. You don't. Especially when it's on the It's Axon stream. Normally, It's Axon is good at least throwing one of the 5 games. That is so bad. That is a terrible Lunala. But we'll take the 5-0. As always, Shadow Sableye is such a fun Pokemon to use. It's a very flexible pick here, and with enough energy management and potentially dancing around, this Pokemon is not something that has that many bad matchups in the meta, so give it a go if you have one. But yeah, thank you for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.